I am Jane Milberg Rubenstein. I've been a member of Temple Israel since 1978. We were sort of blended, not traditional family. We moved here, bought our house in Westport, and Mark and I and my 9-year-old daughter joined Temple Israel because that was the first thing you did. It was the only temple in town, and that was our start. We met Rabbi Rubenstein. He was warm, he was welcoming, and said, come join the family here at Temple Israel. He had just started adult B'nai Mitzvah classes several years before. And I said, oh my gosh, I had never had any formal religious training. I wanted to learn to read Hebrew, and I quickly signed up for his B'nai Mitzvah class. I came home after we picked a date and announced, mark your calendars, Mom's being bat mitzvah on June 19th, no other plans. Grandparents will be here. And my husband looked at me and looked at my 9-year-old daughter and said, well, that's a perfect weekend for us to get married. The grandparents are going to be here. We'll do it all that weekend. And so on Thursday, June 18th, I was married on the Bima at Temple Israel by Rabbi Rubenstein. And on Friday, June 19th, I was a bat mitzvah on the Bima. Rabbi Orkain arrived as a breath of fresh air, very energetic, very young. And so it was wonderful to watch his energetic new ways. He was involved in everything. He attended every committee meeting. He was an early computer whiz, so you often when you'd come in to meet him would find him on the floor under his desk checking the wiring or redoing something so the computer would work more properly. Temple was different. We had one rabbi, one cantor, one director of the school. We still had 600 families, and that was a lot of work for a smaller clergy team. And so they were involved in many things all day long. So I was president 90, I believe either 91 to 93, 92 to 94, something right in there. I quickly developed a real appreciation that I had never seen firsthand in the life of our clergy in the range of emotions, events that they deal with during the course of a 24-hour day. From the birth of a wonderful new baby to the unfortunate death of a congregant, to tensions, things that have erupted in town. It was a window into a world of the complexity. Rabbi Friedman is a gift to our congregation. My husband died this past June, and his funeral was here at Temple Israel, in the place that he calls home, from the Bima that he knew and loved so well. And Rabbi Friedman has been a support and guidance in every way during this difficult time. Mark, my husband, was in the hospital 10 years ago when Rabbi Friedman arrived, and he called me at the hospital and said, we haven't yet met because he had really just arrived, but I'd like to come to the hospital to pay a visit. And we said, oh, we welcome you so much. So on the weekend, he showed up in Mark's hospital room, warm and welcoming and friendly, and learned a little bit about us, and then asked to make a prayer for healing, which we were so grateful for. And he said to my husband, Mark, what is your Hebrew name? And Mark said, it's Avraham Michal ben Yosef. And Rabbi Friedman looked at him and he said, no, I didn't ask you what my name was. What's your name? And Mark said, Avraham Michal ben Yosef. But Rabbi Friedman said, but that's my name, and how did you know my name? Well, it turns out they have the identical Hebrew name, and neither one of them had ever met anybody who had the identical name. And that's been a bond that lasted for 10 years until Rabbi proceeded at Mark's funeral and again talked about the name that they shared in common. Rabbi Friedman has been wonderful to get to know. He is thoughtful, insightful, and is helping us move to the future in the best way I think our temple can. I thoroughly enjoy the musical programs that we are growing and developing. I was here when Cantor Silverman arrived with his California Spirit, and we thought that was innovative and new, and his He created a jingle or a little song for every B'nai Mitzvah child, and that became part of the fun of the service. And it just seems from there we've moved to this wonderful place that Cantica Drain and now Becky Mann have added to, where music is the most wonderful part of our service. The first Friday services that started over the last few years, which were exceptional music, I think led the way, and now it's just joyous. And the effort and that goes into creating that, I so appreciate. It means I'm old. No, I've been here for 46 years, and I'm so proud that our congregation is maturing and yet still growing. It's not stagnant maturation, it's growth and excitement. And to me, I'm grateful that we have such wonderful leadership, and we do. We have a wonderful team of clergy at the moment, all of them, that we can continue to grow during these difficult times and be a home for so many new people who have found their way to Westport and Western and the surrounding area. I have personal pride and institutional pride, both in Temple Israel. I'm proud at how this temple has adapted and grown. I mean, what happened during COVID with the use of technology to keep the community connected was so meaningful to my husband and I personally, and to so many people I've spoken to. At a time we were isolated, and Temple brought us together in the best way possible. I celebrated a Seder via Zoom with Temple Israel. I celebrated high holiday services, and I felt in some way I never lost my connection. There was a tradition for many years at Temple Israel where on Kol Nidre, the past presidents held the Torah during the chanting of Kol Nidre. And as a woman of my generation, women did not hold the Torah, women did not go near the Torah. It was a very, much more sexist orientation. And so for me to be given the honor of holding the Torah was just a wonderful spiritual feeling. And I was fortunate that my mother was still alive. And at 90, 91, 92, 93, she would sit at Kol Nidre service. And the pride that she had from her generation back to see her daughter on the Bima with the Torah is a glorious memory. I guess when we talk about the things I've been grateful for, the fact that Temple Israel has been so open to change and adapting and not having some of the closed values. I mean, I was here when we first started introducing the Times and Seasons curriculum, which was for interfaith families. And that we're talking about 35 years ago, probably. Acknowledging that we had this new group of families, and how are we going to make them feel more welcome, and how are we going to reach out in an educational way. And that was really wonderful. I joined Temple Israel not knowing what this journey would be. And when I look back now, it's been a wonderful journey at so many stages, including this most sad year in my life, that the support and the love that I can walk into the congregation for a service, to the sanctuary, and grieving though I am, get comfort and feel like I belong and feel connected to my husband through the wonderful traditions that we shared for so many years. That's a gift that I say thank you to Temple Israel, and thank you to. And I want to add just something, thank you to our current leadership again, because these times are really, I thought I went through hard times 30 years ago. They're getting harder. And I think all of our clergy and staff have helped navigate for us in a safe way right now.